My name is Jourdan. I'm a professional women's soccer player, and I'm 27 years old now. I'm from California, but I still never really had a lot of financial education, even though I was a business major. And so going into my early adulthood and my adulthood now, Briefs Media has helped me so much learn about the economy and personal finances. I would say close to nothing. I knew I had heard of things like a Roth IRA and starting to save now to set yourself up for the future. But I really didn't know anything past that or even the intricacies of how that worked. Again, I was a business major at a 4-year university and still didn't really have that fundamental knowledge of how to apply that to my own money. And honestly, the newsletter really started me off because it was so digestible. So easy to understand and also kind of fun to read. And with our current, American climate, it was difficult to find news sources that were kind of straight to the point, and enjoyable. So I ended up pulling just a lot of my world knowledge from the newsletter. And then, keeping up with your company from there brought me to other sources of education. Through Briefs Pro and the journeys. And so I just ended up really loving the whole thing. I had a big aha moment, which was when I was doing the journeys in Briefs Pro and do work with my dad as well, who's in the real estate sector. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to start practicing this real estate underwriting. That was in one of your journeys. And I looked at something that my dad evaluating some different building to invest in. And I kind of saw, oh my gosh, like that's what I just learned in underwriting. I understood what he was doing. And that was really interesting because I talked to my dad about that. And he never had access to a formal, not even formal education, but any sort of education on how to do that. And I saw how he did it intuitively to be able to understand it myself. And then kind of that proof of that Briefs Pro was really helping me to apply things to my daily life and how I thought about different kinds of investments. So that was just a really cool moment. Yeah, I think, of course, my initial hesitation would be, okay, here's a potential cost, and even that cost is your time as well. And can I invest that? Both financially and time-wise. And I think that the more I just enjoyed what the initial offerings were, the newsletter, and then starting to work with my dad. And, that became even a thing with me and my dad's relationship because I totally turned him on to the newsletter. And so we would read it and I'd be like, oh, did you see this in the newsletter this morning? And we still talk about it all the time. I still read it almost every day. And so it became pretty clear to me that, even with starting my Roth and being like, okay, well, what is Charles Schwab and all these different things, it was starting to become clear to me that it was a investment that was well worth it. And that helped me get over that initial hesitation. I like that Briefs Pro. One of my favorite parts about it is that it is constantly keeping you informed with what's happening now. So there are lessons that are universal and a bit timeless, especially as they refer to big economic events that have happened in the past. But it shows how they're still applying to this very day, and along with keeping you informed with what's happening in this very day. And that has helped me engage in conversations that I otherwise might not have been able to partake in. So it's kind of unlocked some doors in that way. Oh my gosh. Well, what I'm doing differently now, rather than prior to joining Briefs Pro, is I've always been someone that's really wanted to save. And I realized that just saving and just letting your money sit somewhere and save is not good enough. And so that is a huge shift, is that you want your money to be working. You want your money to be moving and growing as our country and our economy hopefully keeps growing as well. And so that is the big, and being patient and sticking to your own plan. That's something that I learned from you and Briefs Pro. And that's not something that I knew of any of that before. Briefs Pro has helped me save money. It's helped also your financial awareness and that security you get by knowing more about your money, which I would think is a huge advantage. It's a little bit of that solace that you're not just kind of wondering what's going to happen and is your money in the right places. So that is huge. And then also from working with my family, it's helped me look at how my dad has set up his finances a lot of his life and almost help him in a different way, and being kind of a little bit of an unqualified financial advisor, but us being able to talk about that and thinking of different ways that he can save and different ways he can use his money that he might not have learned before. I would tell someone that's on the fence of joining Briefs Pro is that knowing how to take care of your money and knowing being more educated on finances and the economy is so powerful and is a worthwhile investment. That investments don't always look like is the dollar amount you're putting in, worth the dollar amount you're getting back. I think there's a lot more to it, and financial security and education is so powerful in this day and age. So that's what makes it well worth it. I definitely want to thank you. It has been really cool and very inspiring to see how you're expanding so many people's financial education. It's made me frustrated at our own education system at the same time, but it is really awesome that something like this is available. So that's been awesome. I really appreciate it.